For Haye and Bellew. With me, I've got David Haye. How are
Was
you?
you able to get any of that over the screaming and shouting from all them morons? Could you hear anything?
I was going to give this an opportunity to maybe take back some of your comments about calling them fucking retards, but it doesn't look like you're going to.
Were they? Yes or no? Tell the truth. Were they? No.
David,
Were
what
they?
do you expect me to say here? Seriously.
No.
But what do you expect me to say?
He's nodding his head. So yeah, he knows that was a true statement. They were complete morons, all of them. Screaming and shouting, yobbering, spitting, Fran stuff, real scum of the earth. Real scum of the earth. That's what he's about. That's just his vibe. Remember I said about that dark, negative, horrible energy? That was what was there. We had like 500 of his crew. Did you smell it? It was disgusting. None of them showered. Horrible. Anyway, sorry.
That's all right.
Enough about them scumbags.
Is it fair to say you lost it a little bit in that presser?
I've had better moments in my life. I've held it together better in the past, but sometimes things need to be said, and you sort of say how you feel. I kind of say how I feel at the time. I'm not Anthony Joshua. I don't read stuff off of auto cue and try to, walk in under the Eiffel Tower with Vladimir Klitschko and send them love letters and all stuff. That's not what I do with my opponents. I keep it real and say what's going to happen, and I'm going to punch him so hard. I'm not even allowed to say what's going to happen now because obviously it offends people that a fighter who's knocked out 26 or 28 opponents, who's broken noses, ruptured eye sockets, perforated eardrums, punched people's teeth out on a regular basis. I do it in sparring, I do it in fights, but now I'm not allowed to actually talk about that sort of side of things.
Well, the border said that.
I've been kind of being censored, so. Yeah, I've been censored.
I wondered why, because you had previously, I'll just say it, you've made reference to the way Tony Bellew, in your opinion, will leave the O2 on Saturday
That's
night.
my opinion. See you in a bit, bro. Good work today, man.
Thanks, man. Good seeing you.
Yeah, listen, this is the fact of life. As I said some earlier on, if you get hit by a bus at 30 miles an hour, you're going to go to hospital, right?
Right.
If I'm allowed to punch you in the head for 36 minutes with 10-ounce gloves on, which is pretty much bare knuckle, where are you going to go to? You're going to go straight to a club? Or are you going to go have something to eat? What are you going to do? And I punch fucking hard, mate. Real hard. And I'm punching harder now than I've ever punched before. The thing that people don't quite grasp, people are thinking to themselves, David isn't what he used to be, yeah? How about if I'm better now than I ever was before? No one's ever brought that into question. That doesn't really happen in boxing that often. But what happens if? What happens if I'm better than I was in 2007, 2008. What if? Wouldn't it be a treat? Wouldn't you think, God damn, he's back? My last two fights, I was just getting into it. I was just working with Shane, getting into the flow, understanding my body, understanding the injuries that I used to have to get back into it. Now we've been working for over a year and a half consistently, and things are changing. I'm punching harder, punching more regular. I'm controlling my heart rate way more than I've ever done before. Remember, I've still got all the stats from the Mormek fight, from the Macronelli fight, from all my European titles. I know how fit I used to be. I know how many punches I could throw, power punches I could throw in a round, in training, in sparring. And now I'm doing more than I've ever done in my life. I've somehow found a time machine, and I've gone back 10 years. Everything's feeling so good. And it was really quite heartwarming to see Penfold and Bellend saying, "Oh, about your arm, da-da-da." I'm like, they really think I got one arm. It's like, okay, yeah, great, punch it, try and rip it out of the socket. They don't realise I do. I'm not even going to tell them what I do because I want them to keep thinking that. But there's so much stuff that I do with my arm that's made it stronger than it was before, and my left arm now. Now, when you have an injury, you strengthen everything else around it, and you make sure that the same thing can't happen again. So. Fortunately, it happened. I think I'm a better fighter now than I was before the injury. Nobody believes it because no one's seen it yet. I get that. But Shane's seen it. My sparring partners have seen it. They saw it earlier on today. I don't want to say what happened, but they saw it all today. But all will be revealed March the 4th. You will see the real Haymaker 2.0. You didn't see it with the Demore. You didn't see it with the Gargage. There were things happening behind the scenes that I wasn't quite there. I felt good enough to beat the guys I was fighting. But this is a whole different flex now. It's a whole different situation, and you'll see on Wednesday we're doing a public workout. Me and Shane do a bit of pad work. You'll see the new and improved Haymaker 2.0, because it hasn't been unveiled yet. It's been worked on, tinkered on for many months, and you will see the real new me. And after this fight, you'll go, okay, the heavyweight division, the landscape's kind of changed a bit, because David ain't quite as old and slow and fat as he was in the last couple of fights. Interesting.
What did you make of Dave Caldwell's comments to you?
I couldn't care less. He hasn't got a clue, honestly. The guy's useless. Terrible coach. Terrible. He has got no clue. I've seen some of the stuff. I hope the stuff from the TV show Behind the Ropes, or beyond whatever it's called, the show on Sky, I hope what they were doing was like a red herring sort of thing, like hitting him, blocking the right hand and doing all this stuff. I hope that was just for my benefit, because I was watching it thinking, because if he does that, this is lasting like 30 seconds. I really hope he's coming with something a lot more than what he was showing, because if that is what he brings to the table, then, as I said, he's coming to a gunfight with a floppy dildo in his hand.
It keeps being referred to about your financial situation. That's the reason why you're coming back into boxing. It was said before, I think, at the press conference. But not that it's really anyone's business what your financial situation is. Are you skint?
How many millions do you have to have skint, in your opinion? How many
David
million?
Haye skint and say, I'll use myself.
How many millions would you need to have to be skint? I can live wherever, I can buy whatever house, any car, I have tons of houses, kids go private school. How much money do you need to be skint, in your opinion? Up here, I could buy Tony's house 100 times over. If that makes me skint, I don't know. Maybe skint compared to Floyd Mayweather, maybe. But not for any British fighter, any world fighter. But even if I was, just hypothetically, even if I then, all of a sudden, I bet all my money on David Price's last fight and lost it all, after this fight, I'd be skint then, wouldn't I? So it's like, who gives a shit? But that ain't the case, but, But if they need to believe that, they need to believe I'm fighting because I have to fight. They don't realise I've never stopped fighting. After the Chisora, this is what I think where people got all mixed up. After I knocked out Derek Chisora, I was going after Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko fought Manuel Char. So then I scheduled to fight Tyson Fury. That fight fell through. After I scheduled to fight, who was it? Manuel Char, or I had 3 fights full. So I had training camps, and all of those fell through. Three fights in a row. So I was always training. It was only after the final injury in my shoulder that the doctor said, you're probably not going to be able to box again. I never took that on board. I thought, yeah, whatever. I'm going to fight again. I'm going to do whatever it takes to get back. And I did. And now I'm back. I was always training in that time. I was always making sure that, if there's a few depressing times back then, but I always knew I'll be back, and I always wanted to be back better than ever, because I don't believe I fully achieved what I can do as a professional fighter. I really think, although I achieved a lot, undisputed cruiserweight champion and WA heavyweight title, 2 defences, European champion, defended every day. I've done a lot compared to someone average, but I always want that very best, the very, very, very best. And I believe there's still more in the tank. And I believe now, in the first time in my life, I'm in the condition to do what I need to do. In the past, it's been niggling things. I've made sure I've kept on top of everything. My training is so scientific. Shane, the whole staff, Darren Chan, Steve, Daryl, all the guys have really all come together and made sure that I'm in one piece. I'm healthy, I'm fast, and I'm firing like never before in my life. Never before. Every single fight, all my biggest fights, there's been mad issues behind the scenes. That one day after, I've got video footage of it, I'm doing a documentary, so you'll see what's happened. But it's a very rare situation where I'm now better than I've ever been. And I can't wait to unveil. I'll take it off, and you'll be able to see what the new version of myself is. So I've never really retired in my mind. I've never really retired. I've always been working back to get it. I just happen to be 36 now, and I know I've got a couple more good years in me if things keep going the way they're going. This fight's going to be easy. It's just me punching this idiot on the chin and knocking him out. This really is a violent mismatch. And everyone will say after the fight, "Oh, how did we fall for that?" Yeah, how did we fall for that? I don't know. But I'm really hoping that he's bigger and stronger and faster and that he's ever been before. Because if he does anything remotely close to what he's used to have done, it's just going to be a waste of time. So I'm hoping him and Penfold have really been working behind the scenes, bulked up and tougher, stronger. He's moving his head, double jab, right hand, wet crap, and body shot, slow me down. I'm really hoping that that's the case, but You can only hope, because it might last 3 or 4 rounds if that is the case. But
Okay, David, listen, thank you very much for talking to IFL
you only
TV.
asked me that one question.
I know, but that's all I needed to ask today.
How
so
long was he chatting for there?
You've got 10 minutes 20. That's good.
And I didn't even have a coffee today either.
good.
So
That's
normally I need to be caffeine fueled to get this these type of lyrics out. I'm feeling good. I'm feeling nice.
All right. Well, listen,
So what's your prediction of the fight?
what's my prediction?
Yeah. If I gave you £10, what round would you bet on me knocking him out in?
I don't know how you want me to answer this. I really don't.
You've got to be impartial, don't you?
I have to be impartial. So my thoughts
I
and feelings in this are irrelevant. We should see what happens. It's boxing. Anything can happen.
Anything can happen.
Yeah. David Haye, thank you very much for talking to IFL TV.
It's always a pleasure, never a chore.
Thank you very much.